Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about some friggin' books. I'm finally doing a recent wrap-up because I finally fucking finished more than one book recently. So that's great. Like, for real, it took me a hot minute to finish any of these. The first two I finished like weeks ago, but there was just the two, and I was like, I'm gonna wait until I get more. And it just took me for fucking ever. Good God. So I have 5. Let's get into it. The first one is The Irish Princess by Karen Harper? Yes, Karen Harper. I randomly got this one from fucking Book Outlet. I think from Book Outlet. Yeah, because I went on like a historical fiction, just spazzy jam on Book Outlet the last time I ordered, which was like last fall. Anyway, this one was very interesting to me, the whole premise of it. It's basically a would-be Irish princess who is hell-bent on destroying Henry Tudor because he like destroyed her family. So her whole thing is revenge, and she tries to like work her way into the court, the Tudor court, to try to come up with a plan to get revenge. It was generally interesting, but also kind of forgettable. The main character, I can't remember her name now, holy God. The writing style was fine, the plot, it flowed along nicely. Jera was, a feisty, fun character, but, and she was young at first, and so it's like over the course of many years. So it's kind of interesting seeing her grow from being like, I'm gonna get revenge, but I don't have any idea how, but I'm gonna do it, to like getting a general plan and becoming a little bit important in this world. And yeah, just kind of maneuvering her way through things. That was kind of interesting. But overall, the plot itself was just kind of okay. It was okay. There was nothing wrong with it. I didn't hate it. It was just there. On my 1 to 10, 6.3, which is 3 Pushinicorns. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good. This is most of my reading this year. It's like, it was fine. Next up is Slayer by Kiersten White. Now, you guys know, I love Kiersten White, okay? The Conqueror Saga, and I Darken, etc. Did I just see lightning? There's no rain. I swear to God, I just saw lightning. The fuck was that? Weird. Yeah, anyways, the Conqueror Saga, love that series. The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, loved that book. And so I was like, cool, Slayer, I'm gonna pick it up. I saw her on Twitter say that you don't need to be a Buffy-verse like fan to get this book, which was true. Oh, it's paranormal, YA. I mean, it's in the Buffy-verse, like Vampire Slayer. You know Buffy, right? And this one is set after, I think there's like a comic series or like graphic novels, and this is like after the graphic novels. So we have a character who's a twin, right? She's a fucking twin. Yeah, Nina. And her sister were raised pretty differently. They're raised together, but her sister's raised to be like a tough battle warrior, fight people, meh. And Nina is just like the nice, quiet, timid one. Oh, I need to close my blinds. Who, she ends up being like in the medical ward in their like school. They're hiding, magic is gone, and yeah. There we go. But Nina finds out that she actually is the last Slayer ever. So honestly, the writing style seemed different to me in this book than in Kiersten White's other books that I have read. I haven't read any of her other works other than those ones I mentioned. But yeah, the writing style just felt different. I don't even know how to describe it. I didn't love it. And like I found myself getting annoyed with some repetitive stuff. It was first person, I think, right? No, was it? Yeah, it's written in first person, and Nina is just constantly reminding us that everybody's mean to her. Her mom treats her sister better than her. She never wanted to be a slayer or a watcher. She never got trained. She hates slayers. By the way, she hates slayers. Oh, did you guys know she hates slayers? She hates Buffy. Buffy in particular, she really hates. Oh my God, did I tell you about the time I hated Buffy? Like, that's not literally what she's saying, but that's what it felt like to me. I was like, every couple of pages, we're being reminded of things that we already are very aware of and very familiar with. Concepts that I get. I don't need you to keep telling me. I'm finding that is, I mean, I already know that's a huge thing with me in books. That's why I hated Down Among the Sticks and Bones, because I was like, you're beating me over the head with it. I just don't like it. It's like, why? Why do you need to do this? I get the concept, the way you wrote it the first time. I don't need you to keep telling me. And maybe it's because it was first person and this character was just so self-involved. But it was, for me personally, it was just a little annoying to read. And there was also lots of exposition where I don't remember that being a thing in her other books. I didn't hate it. I in no way hated the book, but it just ended up being very On my 1 to 10, 5.3, which is 3 Pusheenacorns. Very much middle of the road. And then I did a reread that I've been wanting to do for like a long time. I read this for the first time like 10 years ago, maybe more. Watchmen by Alan Moore. Yeah, it's the first graphic novel I ever read, and I didn't remember much about it, except I remembered being like blown away. I remember getting to the end of this and just being like, holy shit. I remember talking to people about it, like, have you read Watchmen? Oh my god. It's like dystopian, I guess. I don't know. Alternate reality, alternate universe. I'm not really sure how to describe it. And with like superheroes, really only one person was truly like had any powers. The rest were just like vigilantes that were running around saving people. And it just deals with like themes of humanity in general. Good versus evil, sacrificing some for the greater good of all, those types of things. And I think because I was expecting, all I remembered is I was blown away. And because I've read it before, towards the end, I started being like, oh, okay, I remember what happens. And I just wasn't as blown away, and that's probably just because it's a reread. It's still quality story, in my opinion, so I still rated it pretty high, but my enjoyment level was down a little bit on this reread. On my 1 to 10, 7, which is 4 Pusheenacorns, so there you go. I'm not going to talk about this one a crap ton because it was my Pusheenacorn pick for June and July, and I actually finished it in June, holy god. That is Wild Beauty by Anna-Marie McLemore. This is like magical realism, YA, and it was interesting. It's a very weird premise. I mean, it's magical realism. It's these women in this family that they're, they don't say because I don't think it's supposed to be set like in our real world. I don't really know. They don't say. And they have powers where like basically flowers like live within them. They can just like, they just have flowers like coming out of them essentially. Put their hands in the earth and bloom trees and flowers and whatever. And they are cursed to stay on this one piece of land, and they just cultivate it into this beautiful garden. And they also are cursed where anyone they fall deeply in love with vanishes, dies. So that sucks. It took me a minute to get into this one, probably about like 25% of the way through before I got a little more into it, but I wasn't totally blown away by it. I think just because of the writing and the whole theme of everything, it felt a little bit melodramatic, mostly, to me. And maybe I would have been in a different mood for it at a different time, but I wasn't. On my 1 to 10, it got a 6, which is 3 Pusheenacorns. All the 3s, you guys, all the 3-star reads. Until we get to a reread. I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this being in this like slumpy phase here where it's taking me forever to finish an effing book. I've been reading The Once and Future King for what feels like half my life, and I'm enjoying it. And then it took me forever to read any of these books. In March, I read 2 books. In May, I read 2 whole books, like completed 2 books. And in June, I didn't even read that many, but anyways, I was just like sick of it. I was like, I'm gonna reread something that I hope I'll blow through. So I picked up Living Dead in Dallas by Charlaine Harris, which is book 2 of the Sookie Stackhouse series. I read book 1 last year, and with every intention of like rereading the series, and I just haven't picked up the next one. So I was like, fuck it, I'm picking it up. I read through this bitch in like less than 12 hours. So it definitely helped and kind of kick-started my reading again. I just love Sookie. Towards the end of the series, I remember not loving it so much, But these first ones, I love it. I love it so much. It's ridiculous, and sometimes it's silly, and sometimes it's problematic a little bit, but I love it for what it is. On my 1 to 10, 7.16, which is 4 push-unicorns. And I will hopefully be reading the next one very soon as well. And there we have it. Those are the 5 books that I have read semi-recently. Hopefully soon I will have another recent wrap-up. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.